Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so grateful that you're here today. Whether you're returning or joining me for the very first time, I truly hope you're doing well, wherever you are in the world and whenever this reading finds you. Now, before we begin, I'm going to cleanse the energy of today's reading using my altar incense. And as the smoke gently surrounds these cards, I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in and slowly exhale. Imagine letting go of the noise around you, the overthinking, the unanswered questions, and the emotions you've been carrying. Allow yourself to settle into this moment with an open heart, trusting that the messages meant for you will find you. If this video found you today, perhaps it wasn't by accident. Sometimes the universe places us exactly where we need to be, especially when we're standing at an emotional crossroads. Today's reading is for anyone who's wondering whether it's finally time to move on from someone who once meant a great deal to them. Maybe this connection still lingers in your heart, even if it's no longer part of your daily life. Maybe you've been trying to let go, but something keeps pulling your thoughts back to them. Or perhaps because you're simply searching for clarity before taking the next step. This reading isn't here to tell you what decisions you should make. Instead, it's here to offer perspective, healing, and guidance. Sometimes what helps us move forward isn't having all the answers, it's understanding the deeper lessons behind what we've experienced. Together, we'll reveal these three cards one at a time. Each will uncover another layer of the message. The first card will explore the current energy surrounding this connection. The second will reveal what universe wants you to understand before moving forward. And the final card will offer guidance on what your heart needs most as you begin your next chapter. As always, this is a collective reading, so not every message will resonate with you. Take whatever feels true for your journey and gently leave behind what doesn't. Your intuition always knows what's meant for you. If this reading found you today at the right moment, leave a heart in the comments below as a small reminder to yourself that you're open to clarity, healing, and whatever wisdom the universe has for you today. As always, I would love to know where you're all watching from. I always love seeing our beautiful community connecting from all over the world. Comment below and let me know which country, which state are you all watching from. Now, take one more slow, deep breath. Relax your shoulders, quiet your mind, and when you're ready, let's turn over the first card and see what message the universe has for you today. Let's begin by revealing your first card. This card reflects the current energy of this connection and why it may still be present in your heart. The Ace of Wands reversed. And this card immediately tells me something about the nature of this connection and why moving on from it feels so much harder than moving on from what other things have felt. The Ace of Wands upright is pure creative spark, a hand emerging from the cloud, holding a single wand alive with new growth. The very first moment of something igniting, possibly in its most electric, most alive form. When this card appears upright, it means something began with genuine life force from behind. Real energy, the kind that made you feel like something was finally actually moving for you. Now reversed, that spark could not fully catch. And I want to be very specific about what that means because the Ace of Wands reversed does not appear when there was nothing there. It does not appear in a reading about a connection that was empty or one sided or simply wrong. It appears when something genuinely promising existed, when the spark was real but something blocked it from developing into the flame it had the potential to become. Now, this is what makes moving on from this connection so complicated for you. You are not moving on from something that never existed. You are moving on from something that had real potential, that felt alive in a way that other things have not, and that simply could not find the condition it needed to fully ignite. The timing was off. The circumstances were not right. Something in one or both people was not yet ready to hold what that spark was asking them to hold. And that specific kind of loss, the loss of potential, of what could have been, is one of the hardest things to grieve, because you cannot point to what you had. You can only point to what you sensed was possible. And that is the grief the world around you rarely fully validates. These cards validate it. Now let's uncover the second card and explore what the universe wants you to understand before you make any decisions about disconnection. The Six of Pentacles. And this card tells me something very specific about the dynamic that existed inside this connection. Something that is important to understand clearly before you move forward. Now, the Six of Pentacles shows a prosperous figure standing with scales in one hand, distributing coins to those around him. On the surface, it is a card of generosity, of abundance being shared, of giving and receiving, existing in some form of relationship with each other. But look more carefully at the image. The figure standing holds the scales. The figures receiving are kneeling. This card is not a card of perfect equality. It is a card of giving and receiving when one person held more power than the other. For this reading, the Six of Pentacles is showing me that the dynamic in this connection was not balanced. One of you gave more and one of you needed more. One of you showed up more consistently while the other received. And that imbalance, however subtle, however unintentional, created a quiet weight that accumulated over time. A tiredness that was hard to name because the good moments were genuinely good. But underneath them, something was not quite even. Here is what I want you to hear about this card in the context of moving on. The Six of Pentacles is not here to assign blame. Imbalance in a connection does not always come from selfishness. Sometimes it comes from one person having more capacity at a particular moment. Sometimes it comes from wounds that made it hard for someone to receive and give in equal measures. Sometimes it simply comes from two people being at different places in their readiness for what the connection was asking of them. But before you move on, this card is asking you to see the imbalance clearly. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. Because clarity about what was uneven is what prevents you from carrying the same dynamic into whatever comes next. You deserve someone who meets you in the middle. The Six of Pentacles is reminding you what that actually looks like and making sure you do not settle for less of it in the next time. Finally, let's reveal the third card and receive the guidance your soul needs most as you move on to the next chapter of your life. The Queen of Cups. And this is the card that delivers the most important message for this entire reading. The one that is specifically for you, for who you are before you take the next step forward. The Queen of Cups sits on her throne at the water's edge, holding the most ornate, most beautiful cup in all of tarot, gazing into with complete absorbed presence. She does not look outward at her kingdom, she looks inward into the emotional world that is entirely her domain. She feels everything deeply, fully, without apology. She understands feelings in a way that most people spend their entire lives trying to develop. Now, the Queen of Cups is compassionate without losing herself, intuitive without being irrational. She holds the emotional world with the steadiness and grace of someone who has learned that feeling deeply is not a weakness, it is a gift. This card is showing me who you are. You are someone who loved this connection with full depth of the Queen of Cups. You did not give halfway. You did not protect yourself by holding back. You showed up with your whole emotional world available, with your sensitivity, your empathy, your capacity for genuine connection. And you offered all of that to something or someone that could not fully receive it. And before you move on, the Queen of Cups has a message for you, and I want you to hear that very clearly. Your depth is not the problem. It was never the problem. The fact that you felt this much, that you cared this much, that you gave this much to something or someone that ultimately could not hold all of what you were offering, that is not the evidence that you loved wrong. It is the evidence that you loved fully. And loving fully is not something to correct or shrink or protect yourself from next time. The Queen of Cups does not become less of herself because a particular cup could not contain what she poured into. She carries her depth forward. She does not close. She does not harden. She simply becomes wiser about where she pours. This is the message that the universe wants you to receive. Before you move on from this, take the Queen of Cups with you. Take the depth, take the capacity for genuine connection. Take the emotional intelligence that made you show up the way you did. Those are yours. They were never the connections to keep. What you leave behind is the imbalance the Six of Pentacles showed. The spark that the Ace of Wands reverse could not fully ignite. The dynamic that asked more of you than they gave it back. What you take with you is everything you actually are. Now, let me bring all of these three cards together. The Ace of Wands reversed validated what you already sensed, that something real was there, a genuine spark, a real potential, not a fantasy that you had created, something that genuinely existed between you that simply could not find what it needed to fully become. The Six of Pentacles named the dynamic honesty, the imbalance that was there, however unintentional, the way the giving and receiving never quite found their equal ground, the weight that accumulated quietly beneath the good moments. And the Queen of Cups delivered the most important message of it all to you, that who you are in this, the depth, the sensitivity, the capacity to love fully, is not what needs to be changed. It is what deserves to be honored by the right connection at the right time in the right conditions. And the Ace of Wands reversed, the Six of Pentacles to the Queen of Cups. A real spark that could not ignite, an uneven dynamic that was not your fault, and a depth inside you that is ready, whenever you are, to find something it can truly land. Before you move on from them, know this: the connection was real, the grief is valid, the imbalance was definitely real too. And everything you brought into existence, every bit of it is coming with you into what comes next. You're not leaving empty, you are leaving whole. Comment below and tell me which card resonated most, whether it was the Ace of Wands reversed, the Six of Pentacles, or the Queen of Cups. I read every single one. If someone in your life is standing at this exact crossroads right now, share this with them. Sometimes the most loving thing you can offer someone is permission to move forward without guilt. Follow Cosmic Path Tarot for readings every week. The right message always finds the right person at exactly the right moment. You are not leaving empty, you are leaving whole. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.